And so now I'm going to show you how to stamp on your artwork. This is seal stone. This is seal ink from Shanghai, from the most famous place in Shanghai. Its name is Xilin. And they create the best seal ink in the world, literally, truly. So when it comes, it's a little bit flat. So what I'm going to show you is how to stir it up. You wanted to stir it into a ball before you use it. Or, I mean, if it's just a little bit flat, it's okay. But like if you use it for 100 times already and your seal ink is really, really flat, you really want to stir it up because it is made out of natural fibers, minerals that gives it the red color, and oil. And after maybe half a year or 1 year, the oil sort of sink to the bottom and you wanted to stir it up again because you wanted to get that nice oil, and that's what makes your stamp imprint really beautiful. So you want to stir it up just like this, just a few times just to get the bottom part onto the top. It's a little bit, this is a really dense ball of seal ink, so you might need to use a little bit of strength to stir it. Okay, so this is a good enough ball for me to use. See, these are the fiber. It's a long fiber. And the long fiber is good because that means when you get the ink onto your stamp, you only get the ink. The fiber stays down here. And the fiber is what holds the oil and the moisture. Okay, so now when you try to get the ink onto your stone, you want it to pat it gently for maybe 40 to 50 times. The more times, the better, I think. So you don't want to stamp it too hard because you don't want the ink to trap in the crevices of your of the surface here. So you just wanted to stamp it sort of nicely, but you get it in all the areas. So you want the whole area to be filled, to have this red color on it. And then, okay, how do you know you're stamping in the right direction? So what happened is, what I have done is I have carved this redwood forest side where your thumb will go when you hold the seal. So you will know when you hold it where your thumb is on the left side of the seal, then the direction is correct. I hope I'm making it clear. So before you stamp on your artwork, you wanted to stamp on any piece of paper. Get like a piece of paper that you don't need, or a post-it pad or something. You wanted to make sure it's the right direction. You want to make sure you have gotten enough ink on there. You want to make sure that there's no part on this seal that doesn't have ink on it. And you wanted to do it on like a magazine or something with a little bit of give so that the imprint will be really clear. Okay, so now I'm going to do it. You put it on, you hold it down really good, and then you press down on it. And don't worry about using your whole body weight to press down on it, because this stone is not going to get hurt. It's a really hard stone. And you might want to kind of like roll it around. I mean, just kind of apply your pressure around. Make sure all the edges, the corners, get the ink as well. Okay. And now let's take a look and see what it looks like. Ah, it's very clear. Look at that. And it's very clear because this post-it paper is very smooth. If you do it on watercolor paper, which is not as smooth, you might get an imprint that is not as clear, but it's okay because like in ancient Chinese artwork, sometimes the imprint is not clear, but people can still tell that it is from you and that is your signature. So now I'm going to try it on this watercolor paper. So now there is already some ink on here. This print should be okay. I'm not saying it's going to be 100% clear because of the texture of the paper, but it's always better the second or the third time you print because of the amount of ink on the stone. Okay, let's see. We're gonna do it like, as I say, every time you wanted to pat the stone onto the ink, maybe 40 times. 30, 40, 50 times, okay. Okay, now I'm gonna do it on this watercolor paper and see what happens. Okay, hold it down, press it down with your whole body weight. You might want it to kind of like make sure that all the sides, like just kind of like move it around just a little bit. Little bit. Just make sure that it's on there. All the sides are pressed down on it. Okay, and let's see. Oh, it's not so bad. See, it's not as clear as the Post-it note, but it's still alright. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to clean your seal after you have stamped on your artwork. You wanted to take a piece of paper towel and just wipe it all down, wipe the sides down, wipe the surface down, get most of the ink out, as much ink out as possible. Then you can also use a towel that you don't need or you don't want or you don't care anymore, and just wipe the surface and get all the ink out from the surface area. This is really good. And then the towel, actually don't throw it out because you can use it over and over again. You can just throw it in the laundry with, you know, dirty other maybe like floor mop cloth or something, and wash it, and most of this red is going to come out, and then you can use it again. Okay, so that's how you take care of your seal, and then you can put it on the stand or place it back in the box. And with regard to this ink, this we call it ink mud actually because it's so dense. So all you need to do is cover it back up and place it back into the box and cover it up. And this will keep well for many, many years.